No, I'm starting the recording. And thank you if anyone joined me at the last one. It's good to see some friendly faces. Hopefully you haven't been working too hard today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. I am going to get started and keep this short and sweet. Thankfully, my last session ended right when it was supposed to, so let's hope that that will happen here as well. And I want to, if you didn't have it already, let's make sure that you have the slide deck. I'm putting that in the chat for you. Give me 1 second. This is, I have to admit that this topic is one that's newer to me. And once I realized how great it was, I've just been using it nonstop. So hopefully you'll feel the same way as we kind of talk about it a little bit today, because it really couldn't be easier. And I think with our students' Chromebooks and styluses, we're kind of always maybe thinking about different ways that we could use those instead of having to print a whole bunch of things out. I know that we've been having a lot of conversations lately about,
No. Why is it wet? Why is it wet? Why is it wet?
Having a lot of conversations about thinking, hold on 1 second. Okay. Having a lot of conversations about screen time and picking the rest of picking the right times to use different things. So I know that, but if you're along those lines where you're thinking, I want to give the kids something that's in color, something where they can use their stylus, then this would be the one for you. I'm Nicole Carter. I'm a part of the Future Ready team, digital curriculum. I provide a lot of supports for teachers, K through 12. And lately I've been doing this year social sciences, social studies, and in the past I've done a lot of language arts work as well. My background is mostly in language arts, but I've been kind of enjoying getting into the scope and sequence for social studies and working on that. So why would we use the student annotation feature, some ideas on how to use it, and then a really quick live demo that hopefully you can do along with me, or play back the video and watch it later so that you can get started using it next week if you wanted to. And then hopefully we'll have enough time for questions as well. So the student annotation feature, if you already have PDFs, so we're talking, I see that I have some of my elementary friends here. So if you already have worksheets from Engage New York, or you have some, if you're a part of the social studies group and we're looking at trying to integrate some of the Discovery Ed textbook PDFs, super easy to download that content and put it into Canvas in that student annotation feature. Like, you don't have to do a thing. If you've already got worksheets that you've used in previous years and previous sessions, then you can upload those really well or really quickly. If you have a Google Doc and you're like, okay, I want the kids to fill this out like a worksheet, and maybe you don't have access to Cami, since I know Cami is something we're really only using in a secondary, this is a great alternative to Cami. In fact, even at the secondary option, I would probably use this before I'd use Cami, because it's just so easy to use. Like I said too, the Chromebooks and styluses, maybe we want to utilize that a little bit more often. And because it's in Canvas, it makes for quick and easy grading with SpeedGrader on your part. So those are some ideas. Now, some limitations. It is the same tool if you have used the annotation feature in Canvas already. It is the same tool. So if you felt limited with that tool, because for real, Cami has a lot more options than this does, then that could be a kind of limitation for you. It is not available if you are doing peer assessments. That's kind of an upper level option if you're already doing peer assessments or peer review in Canvas, but you can't use this tool for peer review. It can't be used in a group assignment. So if you are already kind of putting groups together in Canvas so that you only have to grade a quarter of the work instead of all 40, then this is something also that can't be used when you're doing a group assignment. It isn't like a live collaborative Google Doc. So, it's a basically you're taking a PDF think a worksheet, and then the annotation feature writes over the top of it. So it doesn't actually change the original document. It just writes over the top. And so I don't really know why that's a limitation, but it's not the same thing as a Google Doc. So if you really wanted collaboration and you wanted students to do the thing together, then I would use a different tool, right? Like this is a very specific tool. Think worksheet. You're just doing it digital. And so instead of having to print it out, or instead of having to live constantly in a world of black and white, then you might do this. Okay. Hold on, I've lost access to my mouse. Okay, so some ideas. So you could create prompts where the kids just have to go in and they can type over the top of it. I really like using this if I have like a pre-created worksheet where they might be listening to a podcast and I want to give them kind of, fillable notes or something like that. Close reading of articles. If we're teaching close reading of articles, especially close reading of primary documents, this is a great way to have kids annotate and close read over the top of something. Anytime to ask them to do like self-reflection in reference to an assignment that they've already turned in. Maybe you have looked like in the previous years and you've pulled a couple of student examples, sans names, and you've put those together for a way for them to proofread, practice their revision and editing. Some ideas. I additionally also think labeling, like science diagrams would also be a good idea. Oh, I have another slide too with more ideas. I know I was kind of trying to come up with different ideas. Oh, I love this one. A rubric. Like include a rubric with an assignment and have them go through and grade themselves using that rubric. The diagram I just said, a lab notebook. If you have a pre-made lab notebook, but you don't want to go through the process of printing a huge notebook. Okay. So basically the idea or concept is just that you download any slide deck or Google Doc into a PDF, or you use an already acquired PDF and something that the students are going to write on. And then you're going to upload that into a Canvas assignment and allow them to kind of work away. Okay, so the key here with creating these is that when you're creating the assignment, you have to click on the online option. And then once you do that, you'll notice that it'll say student annotation down towards the bottom. If you have a whole bunch of these that you're going to use for an entire unit, you can bulk upload and remind me, I can show you how to do that later. Or if it's just one single PDF, one single worksheet for this assignment, then you can just upload it right there. If you're doing a bulk upload, you can go into the files category of your Canvas course and upload a whole bunch at a time and then just kind of go through and assign them to the assignments that they are attached to. So you just select the item, hit upload file, hit save, do all of your normal things. How many points, how many whatever, and then hit save, and then the kids are ready to go. It's like that simple. I did create a video. Well, my coworker, Kristen, did the audio or video for me, and then I went through and edited. So we do have a video that is student facing to highlight all of the tools that you see on the screen right now. And I think I gave that to you in the slide deck. So if you want to use that or pop that into Canvas prior to them using this tool, feel free to do that. That's the purpose of the video. But it just shows you that they can download. I don't know why you would need this, but the far left, which I didn't even identify it, they can download it. If the file shows up wampus, like it's not the right way, they can flip it or rotate it every 90 degrees to make it work the right way. They can zoom in if they need to do some more finite details. If they zoom in, it actually makes their handwriting appear better too, by the way. They can go full screen, that arrow there on the side. They can point or click or move the document up or down just with that cursor arrow. Really, that's not very helpful, to be perfectly honest. They can add the little dropper tool, it puts like a little bubble onto a section, and then off to the side, it allows them to comment. They can highlight sections, which is nice because it actually will just they highlight an area, I think, and it will automatically snap to the text. So it won't be, again, all wonky. if they don't have access to their Chromebook stylus, then they're using their trackpad, and that can sometimes get a little crazy. So the highlighter will, I think, automatically snap to the text. So I don't highlight very well with a trackpad. That's why I'm saying that. You also have the ability to type into, you know, any section or whatever. So if you don't want them doing handwriting and you just want them to type in a certain box or section, you can. Strike through tool also they have. And then they also have the ability, the little pen or number 8 is the actual drawing or annotation thing. So if you wanted them to highlight, circle, or put a box around or whatever, they can actually do a fine piece like that. And then they also can use the box tool. And I'm not sure off the top of my head if it allows you to do any other shape besides just a box, but you can like put a box around something and then put a comment off to the side. Okay, so I'm noticing that Mary's making a comment about the Discovery Ed stuff not being editable. So that's where I'm saying that I think if you download the PDF file and you put it into the annotation feature like this, then the kids can write over the top of it using their Chromebook stylus and everything that we're talking about here. So to me, as I was creating the last unit that went out for 6th grade on maps and stuff, this is the tool I was using. I was using student annotation. So I was just downloading straight from Discovery Ed, their worksheet, their PDF, which is not very colorful or pretty, but I was just downloading it and then uploading it as student annotation. And then they could draw over the top of it. So instead of directing them to Discovery Ed to work on and do in there, what I'm saying is I downloaded it from Discovery Ed and put it in Canvas instead so that the kids could edit and draw over the top of it to kind of get over that piece. Okay. So this is that student facing video. And I'll put that in the chat, although it's in the slide deck, so you should be able to access it there too. But there's that student facing video, and it's like a minute long. So that would just be something you could play to the whole class before they start or whatever, just so that they know all of those tools. It just shows them how to use those tools. Might be helpful for you too. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna go in and we'll just do it, right? Like we'll just go in and do a live demo. So I kind of did this already, but now I'm realizing this might be really helpful. I was in Canva, super plug for Canva. This is something you now have access to, and it has all sorts of templates and awesome options. So let's go into one template that I made. And so I'm just going to download this. And so instead of a PNG, I want it to be a PDF. And even though it's 3 pages, I really only want page 1, right? And I'm going to download it. Now, if I was doing this in Google Docs, let me show you that as well. Or slides, it's the same process. Okay, so imagine you made something on Google Docs. File, download, and again, PDF. PDF example. And I am not sure I have a Discovery Ed option already on here, but I can do that if you want me to do that. Let me know. Slide deck URL again. Yes, friends, I will do that. Okay, slide deck. There you go. Okay. All right, so I'm in Canvas. Let's go ahead and make an assignment. Okay, so I do always like to provide, right, like instructions. Let me, oops. I'm sorry if everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's all over the place. Okay, so I'm just copying this YouTube video on how to use the tool. I do, because it doesn't preview it for students. So I do like to take a little picture. So not a PDF, just a picture. And I like to put that in the instructions too. So I might say, you know, watch this video to learn how to use the student annotation tool. The worksheet looks like the picture below the video. Okay. So I want to do YouTube video. Okay. I want to add my little video or picture of what it looks like. Okay. And then I know we've been saying this a lot in like the TNL Tuesday. So we have access at the secondary level for something called student dropout, so detective. And so basically what it is it's like the early warning system that Synergy has, but since a lot of us are using Canvas as a way to provide assignments and activities for students versus, you know, going in and adding summative assessment results into Synergy, the early warning system in Synergy isn't working as well as we would like it to for those, you know, students that we want to make sure that they get the help that they need. So Dropout Detective, in order for it to be signified or to start to work, we have to assign points. Even if we go in and change it from points to complete or incomplete, basically that's just going to trigger that Dropout Detective so that we get that data and we can help students out. So that's one thing that we just need to think about as we're making assignments. The next one, as I said, you do have to pick online. So for instance, if I were to pick on paper, you'll notice that the student annotation feature goes away. So we just have to go into online and then we'll pick down here student annotation. And then, like I said before, you could do a bulk upload of a whole bunch of PDF files if you have a bunch. Otherwise, you can upload straight from here. And I think I have it in my download section. Yeah. So I'm just going to download that. And then I'll say save. Oh, I should have said publish. Let's publish it. Okay. So now if I go into the student view, now I should be able to see the annotation just right down here. Now, again, I'm on a trackpad, but I do have the different colors and options. I can add in, you know, a text box and start typing. If I do the highlighter, notice how it snaps right to the text with that highlighter. I can do a doodle. And I can also do a box. And at any time I can, you know, erase something that I don't like. Like maybe I wanted that box to be red, right? Because it sticks out a little bit more. And then students can also leave comments. So again, it's not altering the original. It's like putting a layer over the top of it. And then as you come in with SpeedGrader, you can see all of the things that you've asked them to annotate right over the top of. The exact same way that I went in and added that Canva PDF, the option when I did the example from the Google Doc, it would be the same process. So I downloaded right as a PDF. Same if I created it in PowerPoint or in, well, yeah, if you're using PowerPoint to create worksheets or whatever, same deal, download as a PDF and then upload right here. Okay, let me make sure we went over everything. Oh, I did mention Canva as a great option. I just want to make sure that you guys know as education, you have the pro account. So in order to go in and create some really amazing looking activities and worksheets, they have templates ready to go that you can customize, add icons and all sorts of things too, and live in a color world. right? Instead of black and white, which that was revolutionary for me. That was one of the biggest things for me to change from printing everything out and to go digital, was that we now could live in a world of color. So I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys, trying to, again, keep it short and sweet for you. We have enough time for some questions. And I also am going to put the survey into the chat, because that's just another way, if you were not able to do the self-enrollment piece, I can make sure to do that. I mean, many of us aren't able to do that without the VPN working. So just know that I will go in and award credit for everybody. But there is a question on the survey that if you need me to make sure that I double check that you were here, there's a question on the survey for that as well. And I think we're giving out swag too. We got a whole bunch of stuff from Canva, not sponsored, but I like it a lot. I don't know if you can tell. Yes. So someone asked if there was a document, a Word doc, if it could be downloaded as a PDF, and it can. Yep. Okay. Teresa is asking for the Canvas Studio slide deck, and I can get that for you. Let's grab that. This was just my previous session slide deck. And feel free to unmute yourself too. You don't have to stay muted. Mention this, but why student annotation instead of Cami? Yeah, Max, this is just, honestly, I wanted to make sure that people knew we don't have Cami for K through 12. So we do have some people here with us that are the K through 5 bracket. So this works great for them. And if Cami is just like, there's too many tools, maybe your kids don't like opening it up or whatever, this is just a super simple, embedded right into Canvas. And we have Cami this year, but with the budget, who knows if we're buying it next year. I mean, it might very well be the case that they'll say, oh, well, but you have this student annotation feature in Canvas. Why do we need to buy Cami next year, right? So just know that if Cami does go away, you have this option. But if you are using Cami already and your students like Cami, keep using Cami. So there's a lot more tools and features in Cami, like the voice record and the video record, that I really like in Cami, that takes this to another level, right? It's not just a digital worksheet. It's actually, you know, something that's like a step above. Hopefully that answers it for you.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions? Those are good questions.
I guess just thinking about using this with the Newsella article.
Love it. Yeah. The only thing is what you'd have to do with a Newsella article is probably, you know, download it or download it as the print version.
Yeah. And yeah, and then it'll print in black and white. I guess that's what I run into, that the nice thing about Newsella is a lot of the stuff is available in Spanish, and I teach in Spanish, but there's not a language lock feature. So a lot of times students will just go in and read it in English. So
right.
That's, I think, would be a benefit of doing the annotation and just marking the text as they're reading it. So
yes, I'm going in and doing it as you're talking to me. I think you're processing, verbally processing with me as I'm thinking about it too. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I'm just trying to go through and make sure that as I go into Newsella.
I just wanted to add that when you download a PDF in Newsella and save it into your Google Drive, then when you open it, it'll ask you how you like to open it. You can open it as a doc, and then you can go to translate the document, which is what I do for some of my Spanish-speaking students when I use Newsella. So I don't know if you have tried that, but it works pretty well.
Thank you for that tip. Excellent. I am just trying to go through the process. Okay, so I want just the article only. So when I go to print the article, it is showing me. It is showing me color. sorry, I'm doing this on a screen you guys can't see. Let me, okay. Okay, so hold on.
If you download it and save it as a PDF, you'll have the original article.
Yeah. So I was in the article, I hit print, right? And it went into this screen. I hit the printer button. I hit the drop down, save as PDF. Save. Okay. So we go back into this guy. Leave student view, leave. And we change. Dump that one, upload the new one. Okay, hit save. So yeah, we're still in color mode and we're getting all of the pages. So I love that. I think that that's a great use of it. Melissa likes it. Thanks, Melissa.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So Steve is asking a fabulous question, Steve. And I'm going to be brutally honest. Quizzes. Wait, quizzes is one we can use. I was thinking Quizlet. We're not allowed to use Quizlet. They haven't signed a student data privacy agreement, so we can't use Quizlet. Quizzes is one that is approved. I would have to go in. I haven't looked at quizzes this year. Is there any place, Steve, in quizzes that you get an embed code? Do we know? It is off topic, but maybe people are okay with the fact that we're 3 minutes away from our time. If you'd like to leave, you can. This might just be a question between me and Steve.
I haven't had any luck putting the app in to use it. I don't think it was under the apps recently that I could use. Like there's a puzzle there, but I couldn't find. But I'll look again. Maybe it's hiding somewhere.
I haven't gone into quizzes for a while, but quizzes is like the alternative, right, to Kahoot.
Right.
And so if there's a space where they give you an embed code, which again, I haven't gone in and looked, but if there's any place that they give you that embed code, then you should be able to go into any assignment and add it with that embed code. Separate.
I've added a link. I've added links to actual, quizzes that I've created or that I want to use. If you add just the link, it works, but not an embed code.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I was being greedy. There's some like Edpuzzle where when you grade it in Edpuzzle, it automatically kicks into Canvas, but I don't think you can do that with quizzes.
No, that's not to my knowledge, it's not an LTI that we have yet. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for coming. Again, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Hopefully student annotations is something that's kind of easy for you to get started and to use. I think it's a nice and easy tool. And again, it's an alternative for us if Cami ends up being something we can't pay for next year. It's already embedded in Canvas, so it allows that quick and easy access to SpeedGrader, all sorts of good stuff. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hit pause on the recording and exit out.
All right, Nicole, what's the title again? What's the title again for the exit ticket?
This one it should be student annotation. I don't know what we called it.
I think I pushed the one that said I put Cami in and that was the wrong one. So, okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Student annotation. Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, make your life easy. Student annotation on Canvas.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody.